A stormy night in the hospital. The night was dark and restless. Rain lashed against the hospital windows as Dr. Ethan Hayes sat in his office, his head in his hands. His heart felt heavy. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't save the young boy lying unconscious in room 307. Liam Carter, an 8-year-old boy, had been in a coma for weeks after a severe accident. Despite every possible treatment, there was no response. His mother, Mrs. Carter, sat beside his bed every day, praying for a miracle. That night, the machines beeped in their usual rhythm, a cruel reminder that time was running out. "Doctor," Nurse Olivia whispered hesitantly, stepping into his office. "Liam's vitals are dropping. We might have to prepare his mother for the worst." Dr. Hayes let out a long, exhausted sigh. He had spent years in medicine, saving lives, defying the odds, but tonight, it seemed like there was nothing more he could do. Just as he stood up to check on Liam one last time, a deep, guttural growl echoed through the hallway. The unexpected visitor. The sound sent a chill down Olivia's spine. "What was that?" she gasped. "Doctor." Hayes rushed toward the source of the noise, and then he froze. Standing at the entrance of the hospital, drenched in rain, was a massive black wolf. Its golden eyes glowed in the dim light, locked onto him as if it knew exactly why it was there. "How the hell did a wolf get in here?" a security guard shouted, reaching for his radio. But before anyone could react, the wolf trotted past them, its large paws leaving muddy prints on the pristine hospital floor. It walked straight toward room 307. Nurse Olivia grabbed Dr. Hayes' arm. "Doctor, should we?" "Wait," Dr. Hayes interrupted, his instincts telling him something was different about this wolf. The animal reached Liam's bedside and, without hesitation, placed its wet nose against the boy's small hand. At that moment, the heart monitor beeped louder. "The impossible happens!" A gasp filled the room. Liam's fingers twitched. His eyelids fluttered. Mrs. Carter, who had been weeping beside her son, lifted her head in shock. "Liam?" The boy's lips parted, a weak breath escaping as he whispered, "Luna." The room fell silent. Dr. Hayes' heart pounded. Liam, who had shown no signs of life for days, was now moving, because of the wolf. Jason, still stunned, scrambled to his feet and moved to help, but Shadow gave him a sharp bark, a warning. Jason hesitated, realizing he wasn't needed, not yet. Shadow had the situation under control. In the end, it was Shadow's strength and speed that saved them both. The boar, exhausted from the battle, finally turned and fled into the woods, its pride wounded. Shadow stood tall, bloodied but victorious. Jason's heart raced as he approached the wolf, his hand trembling as he placed it on Shadow's fur. "You saved my life, buddy." Shadow simply looked up at him, his yellow eyes meeting Jason's with an almost knowing gaze. Jason learned that night that Shadow was more than just a companion. He was a protector, a friend, something deeper than he had ever imagined, and from that night on, Jason never underestimated the true power of his wolf. Shadow wasn't just a pet, he was family. Luna. The wolf that saved Liam's life before. She explained that years ago, when Liam was only 4, he had wandered into the woods during a snowstorm. Search parties had looked for hours, but it was Luna, a wild wolf, that had curled around him, keeping him warm until rescuers arrived. Since then, Liam had always spoken of Luna, calling her his guardian, his protector, and now, when death was knocking on his door, Luna had returned. The goodbye that wasn't forever. Dr. Hayes could barely believe what he was witnessing. Liam's breathing grew stronger, his eyes fluttering fully open. He turned his head, searching for the wolf, but Luna was already walking away. "Wait!" Liam's small voice called out, but the wolf didn't stop. Mrs. Carter sobbed in relief, holding her son close. Nurse Olivia whispered, "Where is she going?" Dr. Hayes, still in shock, shook his head. She did what she came to do. Luna paused at the hospital doors for one last glance, then disappeared into the night. The legend lives on. Liam made a full recovery, stunning the doctors. His case remained a medical mystery, except to those who knew the truth. Though Luna was never seen again, Liam swore that every full moon, he could hear her howl in the distance, watching, protecting, and waiting, until he needed her again.